Good morning everyone, this is Venema, roll number 205018 and today I am going to present on the topic graph theory. So first of all, introduction. Graph theory in discrete mathematics is the study of a graph. A graph is determined as a mathematical structure that represents a particular function by connecting a set of points. It is used to create a pairwise relationship between objects. The graph is made of vertices, or you can say them as nodes, that is connected by edge lines. The application of linear graph are used not only in maths but also in other fields such as computer sciences, physics, chemistry, linguistics, biology, etc. And in real life, the best example for graph structure is GPS, where you track the path or know the direction of the road. Now, what is a graph? In mathematics, a graph is a pictorial representation of any data in an organized manner. The graph shows the relationship between variable quantities. In a graph theory, the graph represents the set of objects that are related in some sense to each other. The graph are basically mathematical concepts expressed by vertices or nodes, and the relation between the pairs of nodes are expressed by the edges. Graph theory is the study of points and lines. In mathematics, it is a subfield that deals with the study of graphs. It is a pictorial representation that represents the mathematical truth. Graph theory is the study of relationship between the vertices and edges. Formally, a graph is denoted as a pair G with coordinates b, a, where v represents the finite set vertices and e represents the finite set edges. Therefore, we can say graph includes non-empty set of vertices v and set of edges e. Example: suppose a graph G is equals to v, a, where v is equals to a, b, c and d. V is a set of a, b, c and d, and e is also a set which includes a, b, then next is a, c, then next is a, b, c, and the last is c, d. Now, types of graph. Graphs are basically of two types: directed and undirected. Undirected. It is best understood by the figure given below. The arrow is the figure indicate the directions. Here you can see the unidirected graph has no arrows, while the directed graph have arrows in its figure. Now, directed graph. In a graph theory, a directed graph is a graph made of set of vertices connected by edges in which the edges have direction associated with them. Undirected graph. The undirected graph is defined as a graph where a set of nodes are connected together in which all the edges are bidirectional. Sometimes this type of graph is known as undirected network. Other type of graphs are null graph. A graph is that does not have edges. Simple graph, a graph that is undirected and does not have any loops or multiple edges. Next is multigraph, a graph with multiple edges between the same set of vertices. It has loops formed. Then connected graph, a graph where any two vertices are connected by a path. Disconnected graph, a graph where any two vertices or nodes are disconnected by the path. Next is cycle graph, a graph that completes a cycle. Then complete graph, when each pair of vertices are connected by an edge, then such graph is called a complete graph. Planar graph, when no two edges of a graph intersect and all the vertices and edges are drawn in a single plane, then such graph is called a planar graph. Now, properties of a graph. The starting point of the network is known as root. When the same type of nodes are connected to one another, then the graph is known as assortative graph. Else it is called a disassortative graph. Assortative graph. A cycle graph is said to be a graph that has a single cycle. When all the pairs of nodes are connected by a single edge, it forms a complete graph. A graph is said to be in symmetry when each pair of the vertices are or nodes are connected in the same direction or in reverse direction. When a graph has a single path, or it is a path graph. Now, trees, degrees, and cycle of a graph. There are certain terms that are used in graph representation, such as degree, tree, cycle, etc. So first of all, let us learn about trees. A tree is a graph. A tree in a graph is connected between undirected network which are having only one path between any two vertices. It was introduced by British mathematician Arthur Cayley. In 1857, the graph trees have only straight lines between the nodes and in any specific direction, but do not have any cycle or loop. Therefore, trees are directed graph. Now, degree in a graph is mentioned to be the number of edges connected to a vertex. It is denoted by DEGV, where V is the vertex of the graph. So basically, it measures the vertex. Cycle. A cycle is a closed path in a graph that forms a loop. When starting, the ending point is the same in a graph that contains a set of vertices. The cycle of a graph is formed when there is no repetition of the vertex in a closed circuit. Then the cycle is a simple cycle. The cycle graph is denoted by C, and a cycle has even number of edges or vertices called even cycles. A cycle that has an odd number of